Welcome everyone to the 30th episode of the Empowerment Minutes podcast. This is Maurine Kwende, your podcast host, learning leader, researcher, speaker, leadership coach and consultant, and CEO and founder of EMK Learning Solutions. You know, I always love to connect with you to chat about my areas of expertise, my services, or any topic of interest, and how I can help. I'm passionate about adding value and always eager to help. So if you're listening to this podcast and you have any questions, do not be shy. Reach out to me and we can always strike a conversation. All right, so let's get started. I always start the podcast with gratitude. Yes, it's the tradition. I always begin the podcast just to express how grateful I am. I want to thank you all, our listeners who are joining us from all over the world. Thank you so much, Gracias, merci beaucoup, danke. I would be working on speaking more languages, but these are the three I can speak for now. I just want to say thank you. So this week's episode is about how to gain leadership and management experience as an L&D individual contributor. So you might be an instructional designer, a trainer, an educator, or someone in the field who has been in the role maybe for a little bit, maybe a few years or maybe more, and you're interested in taking the next step, right? Gaining some leadership or management experience. So you want to, get into a leadership or management position, right? So this episode will discuss some options you want to consider, right? So the first way you want to gain some experience is the natural way, where you're looking at promotion opportunities through your workplace. So that means taking a look at your organizational chart, speaking to your manager, your supervisors to find out about potential growth opportunities that you have within your organization. So I know many people are hesitant to ask for promotion, or they have asked before and they're tired of asking. Well, I believe if you don't ask, you don't get. Even the Bible tells us to ask. Ask and you shall receive, right? It's a difficult conversation to have, but there's no way around it. You might be lucky to get promoted when you didn't ask, but some people have to ask, right? So go ahead and speak to whoever is your decision maker and let them know your interest, that you like to get into a leadership or management position within your organization, and hear what they say. So if you've asked and also demonstrate your leadership and management skills and abilities to no avail, then it's not the end of the world. There are other ways you can go around it. So naturally, when people get to this point, what they start doing is finding another position in another organization. Then when they find one, then they quit, right? And which makes sense, because after all, why commit to an organization that's not committed to employee growth, right? So you want to invest in a company that's going to invest in you as well. So I would say I agree. Find another company where you share their values and also see potential growth opportunities. And then that could be your next step. We also know that sometimes finding these positions or finding the organizations that share in their values might take a minute or two to find. So what do you do then in the meantime? So here are a few suggestions I have. So I would first of all encourage you to create your personal development goals, right? Check with your organization what the budget is for professional development. So can they allow you to attend conferences, events, where, you can learn some leadership or management skills? Would they allow you to spend that time or to invest in you so you can connect with other leaders in the field and learn from them? So that's one option, right? So another option that I recommend is joining organizations in your field. So for the L&D folks, ATD is my go-to organization. Also SHRM, right? Because when you join these organizations, right, you have a lot of volunteer opportunities. So you can volunteer with these organizations in leadership positions so you can gain experience that would then translate into your job later on, or maybe at the meantime. So ATD and SHRM, and I know some other organizations have some mentoring programs where you can sign up. And these programs last about 6 months to a year. And what I've seen is like they pair you with a buddy or someone in an area of interest. And then that person can help you, can mentor you, and then you can gain some experience in that particular area that you can use now for your job or future role. Because people always ask, how many years of experience do you have, maybe as an instructional design manager or an instructional design, senior manager? And if you tell them you have, XYZ amount of experience, even though you were volunteering, those still count as experience. So that's what I would suggest first. So find your local ATD or SHRM or organization of interest and ask them how you can help. And in the process, you can learn to lead. Right. Now, my next suggestion is to find someone in your organization in the position you like or interested in and ask them if you can shadow them to gain some experience. Of course, you want to check with your supervisor for approval so then you can plan your time so you're not taking the time you should have been doing your work to be shadowing someone. They should have something in place where, they can work with you to make that happen. And make it clear to that person you're not wanting to take over their job. You're just wanting to gain some experience in that area. Now, another suggestion I want to make is that for you to find a local organization that you're interested in and find out if they have any opportunities to serve on the board. You will learn a lot from other board members. So this was my personal experience. I did serve on a board for many years ago, and it was a pivotal moment in my career. So check out those organizations. Find out from them they have any spots open in the board for the upcoming year, and you will be more than happy to serve. And in the process, you will learn and gain some skills. Lastly, I also want to suggest that you check with the organization if they can pay for some leadership development for you and your team, right? You want to be able to have that conversation as well. They might have the budget for it. They might not be able to promote you right away or have even that on their radar, but they can be able to spare some money for you for your own leadership development, right? And if they say no, then the next suggestion I would have for you is to invest in yourself. If you can afford it, why not invest in yourself, right? Find a good program and sign up for it, get certified, and then in the process, you can grow your network. There are so many good providers out there, including even my own leadership workshop where you can sign up and take advantage of group coaching. You would have CEOs, you would be able to grow your network, and you'll be able to practice those skills in an environment where you're not judged, right? Where you can just be yourself and grow naturally and learn from other people, and then also improve your leadership skills. Do your research. You would find something that works for you. Maybe one thing you can do is taking the first step, which is that of taking a leadership assessment, right? That might be a great place to start. I do provide a complimentary leadership assessment. If you're interested, join my mailing list on my website, which is www.maurinekwende.com for a complimentary assessment, and then I'll be able to send that to you. So I encourage you, if your organization is not paying for it and if you can afford it, I encourage you to invest in yourself, right? Because I always say this. It's my own quote, actually, that says, if you do not invest in yourself, why should someone else invest in you, right? So if you can afford it, just go ahead and invest in yourself. So these are some of the ways that you can gain leadership experience as an L&D individual contributor. So that's it for this week's podcast. I want to thank you so much for listening in. To our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in as usual. And I look forward to see you on the next one. Au revoir. Adios. Bye bye.